Nintendo doing a patent infringement lawsuit against Pocket Pair, the devs of Palworld. This was a conversation that everyone had when Palworld blew up at the beginning of the year. And then we thought that like nothing was going to happen because Nintendo remained quiet. But as with most things legal related, they were just taking their time. And they were also doing some weird stuff, which I think, Rami, you tweeted a great article on this that was behind a paywall. So I didn't get a chance to read the full thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know that was behind a paywall.
The understanding is that like Nintendo patented things for this lawsuit. Is that, did I get that? Like what, tell me about that article. Tell me about how that broke down.
I mean, basically a whole bunch of stuff happened, but the one thing you need to understand about Nintendo is, as far as I remember, as far as most people remember, Nintendo doesn't lose lawsuits.
Right.
At least not ones that they bring. They're not. So the main thing that is up there right now is that there is a lawsuit. The amount of information that is out there, a lot of it is not confirmed, right? Like we'll see it when the suit like properly goes through, like what they're actually suing for.
Right.
But people are searching through potential patents that might be relevant to the game, and they found a bunch of them that might be relevant, right, to Palworld. Yeah, Japanese law, because this is obviously a Japanese lawsuit, works quite different to how we understand it here in the West.
Right.
How we understand patents and to work. So there's some speculation over which ones it is going to be, but short version is, if Nintendo wasn't entirely confident that they were going to win, they would not. This would not be happening.
Right.
So,
yeah.
It's,
I'm kind of nervous to like. Okay, so if you remember the Yuzu thing last year,
or
earlier this year,
Yeah.
which was a year after the stuff with Tears of the Kingdom, I jumped on Nintendo immediately. I was like, Yuzu did nothing wrong. They're not, distributing ROMs or anything. They're just providing the emulator, pretty standard emulator fare.
Yeah.
And it turned out that Yuzu flew too close to the sun, and they were like monetizing in a way that they shouldn't have, and that wasn't obvious at first. And I backed Yuzu because I use it or used, and yeah, still do. And so now with Nintendo, my take is I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna see. I just gotta wait for all the information and see if these guys are flying too close to the sun, because it could be like one little thing, and I don't want to like definitively say it and then be wrong. I'd rather just have a finite amount of info.
Yeah. Some of the patents that they're saying that they infringed upon is very close to the whole like Shadow of Mordor bullshit from a couple of years ago, like Nemesis system, but maybe even like more simple than that from what I was reading. Different things that they have patented, and I think that all of that stuff is Japan only. I'm not 100% certain. I should note that we're not lawyers on the show, just for our own protection, but
not anymore.
Yeah. It's Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, I guess, at the end of the day. Yeah. It's really all you could say about this, and it kind of fucking sucks.
Nintendo is good at what they do, and what they do is they protect their business in ways that we might or might not appreciate. But like the reality is that this is a thing that they can do. They will do it. I have a heart. Like, I don't like it. Let's be entirely clear, right? Like I'm a game developer who had my game cloned, but even back then I said fuck patents.
Yeah.
Like we're not touching that, because we think the industry should be free to iterate, should be free to grow, should be free to take ideas that exist and build new things on top of that. Like, I firmly believe that. At the same time, it makes sense that Nintendo looks at Palworld, which made like a gazillion $billion with like 11 people in a garden shed, and goes like, you know what? We'll take some of that money. You know, like it sucks the way the world sucks, but like I would be shocked if Nintendo didn't do this. Right.
Right. I mean, that was the first thing that when Palworld came out, everyone was just like, oh well, Nintendo's going to sue the fuck out of them. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't help but hear the Iron Man 1 meme. It's like, Pocket Pair made this in a cave out of scraps.
yeah, they really did. They really did. It's kind of it's one of those things too where there was some when this came out was right around the time that there was an investor meeting or something from Pokemon, and Pokemon was out there like flaunting their numbers, and it's just like absolutely staggering amounts of cash and just everything. Like I think Hello Kitty is the biggest IP in the world, and this is second, or maybe this is first now, and Hello Kitty, like they kind of go back and forth.
I want to say it's Pokemon.
Pokemon's,
currently.
I think, maybe number one now. But yeah, it's a wild situation. I'm so curious to know, like, what's the end game for this, right? Like, is it take Palworld off of stop making it? You're no longer doing this? Like, what, how do they, or give us money for the IP that you infringed upon and the value of X, Y, or Z? I don't know.
It's not about the money, JP. It's about sending a message.
Sure.
Okay.
But I think it might be also about the money.
Not joking.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you're not wrong. It's very much
around and find
protecting
out
about their
everyone
IP.
else, you know?
Yeah.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The money is a nice bonus.
Yeah, because that game did sell crazy bukus of
Yeah,
numbers.
it
That's
did.
an industry term, is bukus of money.
Oh, is that? Okay.
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
I'm behind. I'm behind.
Phil told me about it.
No,
Yeah.
just they're basically saying don't put guns in Pikachu's hands, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Did you see the hard drive article that Pocket
Yes.
Pair hired identical lawyers to Nintendo's, but with guns?
Hard drive's been killing it this past couple of weeks. The whole Jeff Keighley
so
arc
good.
was also really funny. But yeah, I did see that. It was good stuff. Yeah, so now we're on a wait and see thing. And we're probably going to be waiting a while. Like this lawsuit could be years till it's resolved. Like that stuff does not move fast.
I will say, the one thing that really okay, the Nintendo thing pissed me off. I'll be honest, but if you scroll to the bottom of this letter, JP, is like it is truly unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant times to matter unrelated. That's why you hire lawyers, mate.
Yeah,
Nobody on the development team is like, oh darn, I can't 3D model today. I have to go to the lawyers.
I gotta go become a lawyer.
I have to go to law school now. I get wanting to sort of like tilt the narrative a little, but like, oh come on, like a little.
There's a little bit of pandering for sure.
Yeah,
like they're trying to get, and I think that even without them doing this, I think most of the internet is on their side in terms of like the optics of it.
Yeah,
I've seen a handful of people being like, no, fuck you, Nintendo has every right to do what they're doing, and a lot of those people probably were already on that side of that camp back in January when Palworld came out, right? But yeah, it's a little bit of pandering towards the end of the statement, without question.
Well, Pocket Pair isn't like squeaky innocent all the time. I don't know if you've. I mean, do you remember Gameloft? I mean, I think they're still doing stuff, but they they started off as a mobile dev, and they did a lot of like borderline plagiarism, like copying other games but making mobile versions.
Yeah.
Pocket Pair. Did you ever play? What was it called? Craftopia. It was a game before.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember it.
I called it the Everything Bagel, and it looked like if Breath of the Wild was a survival crafter with every other game in it. And I was like, this is too good to be true. And when it eventually came out, it was very rough. And then 5 years later, it's still very, very rough. So they have a history of, and I think they had a project before that they also abandoned.
Yeah.
So they do have a history of like not being completely upfront and honest, and kind of like borrowing liberally from stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait. I'm wait and see mode, and whoever comes out in the wash as the winner, I'll be like, all right,
Yeah.
let's get off my back. I'll still be getting Zelda this week and playing the crap out of that, dude.
Yeah, you're not going to boycott Nintendo. Sure, yeah.
I
There's no,
can't wait. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but that's also kind of the thing, right? Like these kind of things, I always am so confused that they turn into these big conversations on the internet because like they're just gonna go. It's not like the lawyers are sitting there and they're like, "Ah, Twitter is against us. Let's drop it." Like, no,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
gonna
Nintendo
do the
doesn't give
lawsuit.
a fuck about
Nobody
any
gives a
of
shit
that.
about this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen. The lawsuit's gonna happen. Somebody is gonna pay somebody else a bag of money, and then everything's gonna continue exactly the way it is. And every gamer out there will be completely unaffected by this entire thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if they were suing to shut down the thing, yeah, bring out the pitchforks. Like, sure. Like I'm all for it. Like that's ridiculous. But like bags of money between large companies with lots of money, I'll care about paying rent and like figuring that shit out. They can do their shit.
I think that's a reasonable and level-headed approach for sure. Unfortunately, Rami, this is the fucking internet. So
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I always forget.
you
about
got to
that.
be extreme. Okay.
You don't hate what I hate equally, so I'm mad.
Yeah. You like pancakes? Well, I like waffles. And I heard you hate them, motherfucker.
That's a whole different sentence.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fucking waffle.